What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Work Knife Balance. We're going to go ahead and take a look at a Kansept knife today. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the top down. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the Kansept Cosmos. I forgot what it was called there for a second. We have the Kansept Cosmos here today. Before we get too far into this, I want to go ahead and say thank you to anybody who's already liked and subscribed to the channel. If you haven't, feel free to hit that subscribe button down below. You can also head over to Instagram and follow us at WorkKnifeBalance939. That's a great way to communicate with us. And if you want to send us something for review, we'll go ahead and take it out, look it over, and then send you back a sticker and some swag just to say thank you. This is the Kansept Cosmos. This is a Paul Munko design knife. I believe we have the Munko designs right on the back side there. So we've got the Paul Munko designs. For those who are unaware, Munko Designs also made the Clairvoyant, which just came out this last year, and that thing was pretty epic. This has, after figuring that out and kind of going through this a little bit further, this definitely has kind of the same feel vibe as the Clairvoyant. So that shouldn't be a surprise. There's definitely a signature in the design style there with Munko Designs. So I like it. Kansept has done some pretty wicked things, and I mean wicked in a good way. They've done some pretty cool things, some things that are kind of out there, and their designs aren't always something that catches my eye aesthetically, but they are always well done. Their fit and finish is fantastic. We talked about that on the first video when we did the unboxing of this and the Titan, and this is no exception to that. So we've got a 20 CV blade. We've got a titanium bolster lock with, I believe I called it a fat carbon, but it's actually nebula carbon, which is like the Chinese version of fat carbon. This is the best I have seen it done. It's on a lot of knives out there. You'll see the Chinese fat carbon, but this is the best that it's been done in recent memory, looking over some of these knives. You can still tell it's not a true fat carbon, obviously, and I've kind of used that fat carbon name as a phrase for any sort of really kind of colorful carbon, which I should probably get out of doing that since Fat Carbon is a USA company that has some really good stuff. But before we go too far, let's go ahead and do some measurements. We'll do some overall measurements, then we'll do some side-by-side comparisons, and then we'll dive back into what makes this knife so amazing. It is definitely worth every penny, and I think it's actually probably worth more than what you're going to buy it for. So this overall tip to tail, we're looking at about 8 inches on the length. Blade length, we're looking at about 3 inches. Cutting edge, about 3.15. You have a really nice finger choil in here. Kind of a like 75 choil comes in and then doesn't necessarily 50-50 itself in here, but they did chamfer these edges, so when you're in here and choking up, you don't feel that part of the bolster right there. It actually feels really good. So when you choke up in there, it actually, there's no hot spots or anything. So that was really well done, and you can kind of see the chamfered edge, and the chamfered edge matches that choil, as you can see coming over. So if they were to make it a true 50-50, you'd have to cut all that material. Just chamfering it makes it so when you do choke up, ergos are fantastic. This thing is pretty wicked. Speaking of ergos, if you hold it down here, you've got really great ergos. There's a really good spot to anchor in, and then the other 3 fingers kind of just fall right in. I do wear a large glove, so I've just got an average hand, and this feels really good for my hand. I think it was made for someone with bigger hands. It is very slim and long, but it feels really good. With some comparisons, we'll go ahead and do the Spyderco Pair 3. We'll put that up top. We'll go ahead and do the Kaiser Dogfish right here, which I really love that Dogfish. I've been digging that knife while it's been in here for a little bit. Let's see. We've got the Benchmade Bug Out up top as well. We'll do a Civivi Sikoke. And then some kind of just classic knives. We'll go ahead and do the Elementum button lock up top. And this is another long, slender knife. This is the Civivi Chevalier, to kind of give you a comparison. That was one that I thought in my collection I'd have. Has a slicey blade. It has that sheep's foot blade. This is what I would call more of a Wharncliffe than a sheep's foot, but still. And it is long, slender, although it is a button lock versus the bolster lock that you get on the Cosmos here. You do have that bolster lock. We just talked about it here. It was done really well. The one thing I will say is there's not much access to that lock bar. You can get in here still, but I would have loved to see a little bit more. It is chamfered, but I would have loved to see a little bit more removed so you can access that a little bit better. doesn't like really hinder the action at all. You can get in here and get that really easy. It just would have been nice to have a little bit extra room, in my opinion, there. I don't have any hotspots or anything. It is a low profile flipper, and if you're not really that great at reverse flicks, you're pretty much going to be just flipper only. You can, I've done it a couple times, get in here and reverse flick it out. There was one very slow, so you can get in there and reverse flick that out with the material. Gotta push up, and then I have to wrist it as well. But if you want to say it's got 2 opening mechanisms and you're willing to try and get in there and figure that out, you can definitely do a reverse flick for a second opening mechanism. But I would say primarily you're just looking at that low profile flipper tab, which is excellent and works really well. You've got 2 areas of jimping on this. We talked about it on the unboxing knife, and I really love that you have that secondary jimping spot. The way the blade kind of has this swoop to it really curves the hand here and then makes the ergos on this, if you want to choke up and get into that second spot, it is really, really fantastic. This thing is pretty epic. Ergos on it are through the roof. I love the long, slender feel to it as well. It's nothing that is going to it's not going to feel like a big knife, although it is 8 inches, but it's definitely has the action of a big knife and the action of a knife that is worth more than $200. So these come in just under $200 at $199. You can get a premium version for about $290. I believe those are sold out, but you can find them hopefully on there somewhere if you really want a premium version. But they have 2 with the Nebula Carbon, 2 different colors that are $190, and then they've got a micarta version for $180, I believe. So right under $200 for one of these Cosmos if you want to pick one up, and I think it's well worth every penny. This is definitely has the fit and feel of a knife that is going to be $250, $300. You could easily pay $300 for this. You do have the, we look at it here. We do have the, see if we can get it in there, CPM 20 CV. It's showing right there. So you've got the CPM 20 CV with the titanium bolsters and the Nebula Carbon with that fat carbon look to it as well. Really premium materials, really amazing fit and finish. Ergos on this, you can't really go wrong. If it's not your style, then it's not your style. But I will say this is definitely hitting that realm of something that I would be more interested in from Cosmos. The only other Kansept as of recent that I've really liked has been the Fenrir, and that thing was amazing. So this is just kind of same in that realm of starting to hit more, I would say, popular aesthetics and more common aesthetics that you're going to see this kind of fly off the roof. But there are some crazy Kansept fans who really like it. So yeah, I don't have much else for this. I love the way it looks. The fit and finish is really good, and it feels amazing in hand. This is the Kansept Cosmos. Absolutely love it. There will be a link below. If you follow the link, it does support our channel. Until next time though, TTFN.